So for those who don't know, I am trying to get used to my hair at a shorter length. And I know it probably doesn't look much shorter, but trust me, it is, because it was down to here before, I think. I'm trying to work my way towards a shorter haircut. So I did a very simple unicorn cut, and I think I took off like 3 or 4 inches. And a unicorn cut is when you basically pull all your hair together and put it at the angle you want and snip it just straight off. Who knew that it would bring out a little extra curl? I didn't. I just might keep it at shoulder length after this. I don't know. This is... So hello and welcome to domytriesthis. I hope you brought your cuppa. Today's coffee mug is my Black Magic coffee mug. I will try to list the site where I got this down below. It was an Etsy shop. The crown is not secured, so it's probably not going to stay long. Not that we have many samples today anyway. However, like I said, I will try to put down the link for that particular coffee mug down below. And in my Black Girl Magic coffee mug is the Pukka 3 chamomile tea from our Christmas advent calendar. Yes, I'm still working my way through it. There's a few flavors that I haven't been willing to brave. Peppermint and licorice. I just don't like licorice. There's 3 licorice, and then there's a licorice and cinnamon, but other than that, we've got 1, 2, 3 that I've not tried that are still on here, and a 4th that I know I love. This chamomile, vanilla, and honey, Manuka honey. I adore that tea. But we've got 3 more in here to try. I'm sorry, I'm just not going to try the licorices. I'm not into licorice. I've never been. But anyway, I know I've tried 3 chamomile in somebody's tea before. I don't think it was the Pukka teas. So we're just going to go ahead and give this a taste, and we will get started and hope that my crown doesn't fall off my head. It probably will. It probably will. This smells nice. It smells light and fragrant. It just started steeping, so, you know, it'll probably have a stronger scent later. Okay, so right now, I think that's mostly sugar. It's on the sweeter side. But there is definitely something else in there, almost a vanilla taste that's really, really nice. A soothing floral fusion of African, Egyptian, and European chamomile. I wonder which of those contributes to the vanilla flavor. All right, so I'm sitting here quite awkwardly, so I'm just going to go ahead and take the crown off. Like I said, there are no samples in today's batch. And I'm going to be possibly changing this to pass or fail on the reviews. I don't get very many samples anymore. I've stopped looking for them online. They're just... either they're very hard to find, or they're the same ones you've already tried from the company. There's like a couple companies that keep doing, like one of them keeps doing the same skin set over and over again. Or they have limited quantities, and by the time you get there, they're gone. Or I really need to get back into my Ipsy bag, but by then most of you would know what those samples are like. So let me know if you are interested in me starting to get the Ipsy bag, even if I don't open it here. And reviewing some of the samples from the Ipsy bag. Just let me know that. Anyway, so today, there was only one thing in this little box that is a sample for our pass or fail reviews, and it's actually representing a different thing. So the first thing I am going to talk about is this Essence foundation. Now, most of you should know by now that I have come to love this foundation. It does seem like a thicker and heavier foundation for application, and I actually have to kind of change my mind on that. I've got to roll up these sleeves a bit, or we're going to get makeup on them. We don't want to get makeup on them. All the things I didn't do, and also I didn't get the other thing I need to get. You all know what it is, I forget. I'll be right back. Yes, ma'am, the little wipe. We need the little wipe. Need the little wipe. All right, so... as I was saying, it does seem kind of like a thicker foundation. I have 2 shades of it right now. One of them is too light, and that is, I think it's this one. Yes. This is in Neutral Honey. The one that I started using in the summer was Neutral Almond. This actually is practically a perfect fit shade match for me. I have another one in my cart at Ulta that I want to try to see if it's closer to my winter skin color. The nice thing about this is cheap. It's like $5.99 or something. So, but it is a nice foundation. And like I said, it seems like it's heavier before application. But the more I've thought about it, the more I think that that's not quite true. It is definitely liquid. But as you can see, it's loose, it's running. So it's not really necessarily a heavier feel to it. It's actually a bit more watery. I think one of the ones I got, I probably didn't shake it up before using. You should always shake things up. As you can see, this one's just a little light. It's a good shade mixer for when I need something lighter. At any rate, let's get into the review, even though I've said like 3 times now that I actually now love this foundation. This foundation has become my replacement for my Woma. And the only reason for that is the price. I really love the Woma foundations, but this one is really close to that and a much more reasonable price. Anyway, it doesn't apply heavy. I do feel it on my skin more than the Woma, and it's actually very brief. I feel it when I'm applying it. It's more than, I'm not sure if people can understand this, but it's more than, oh, you put something cool and liquid and wet on your skin. There's a heaviness that I feel on my skin when I put certain foundations on. You start to feel that a little bit with this. So I do feel it on my skin more than the Woma or the Tarte, which is the Tarte Marcuja, or there's an e.l.f. that I enjoy there. I'd have to look it up, but I'll list it down below. But it's not annoying. It also dissipates from everywhere except around my nose, which is oily, in a pretty reasonable time, but it does take more time to dry down, with my tea taking the longest. I can also feel it on my nose even when I don't feel it on the rest of my face. And honestly, I think I've managed to adjust to that because I wear this almost every time I film now, either this or the Marcuja one. And I don't recall it feeling heavy on my nose or anything like that. The finish is beautiful, smooth, and skin-like, and it doesn't emphasize my texture. Powdering with even with a mattifying powder only removes some of the luminosity, but it didn't otherwise make the finish any less beautiful. Coverage is heavier, on the heavier end of light to the lighter end of medium, and it is buildable, but I think there is a limit to how far you can build it. I don't build to full. I don't like full. I have a little, I don't know if you guys can see it. You should be able to see it. I have a little mark down here. I use that to judge how heavy my foundation is. If that is gone, more than likely I'm not going to enjoy the foundation that day. There should be a little faint shadow of it. Today I'm wearing a powder foundation. I was trying something out, so we'll just see how that one goes. Very slight transfer, and thank the gods it doesn't appear to oxidize much. The very first shade I wore, the almond, was almost a perfect match. Didn't try it with my Mineral 89, but with the e.l.f. it becomes thicker and heavier, both in application and how it sits on the skin. Once it settles, it still looks good, though it does emphasize some texture on my upper cheeks, and it looks a bit cakey once powdered. The big downside, I could feel it on my face, and it didn't completely go away. Although, like I said, I think I've adjusted to that feeling with this particular foundation, because now when I wear it, I don't feel it at all. I actually really enjoy this foundation. I love this foundation on its own and recommend not mixing it. It's also become my favorite foundation. I do think that people with true oily skin might have an issue with it, but you may want to check reviews from other people with oily skin, like, I forget her name. I will list one of the more oily skinned ladies I know who probably has reviewed this. I don't know why I'm forgetting her name. I haven't been watching a lot of YouTube lately. That's probably it. And I'm terrible with names. I'll tell you all right now. Never take it as an insult if I forget your name. My memory is shit. Let's just go with that. But I really do enjoy this foundation. I do highly recommend it. And like I said, it's like $5, $6, $7, somewhere in there. So if you have to buy a new shade to get to the right shade, one, they're fairly easily, they have a nice wide range. And they have neutral, warm, and cool. And the neutral does tend a little more warm, but that's okay. I mean, it's not that true green undertone neutral, I will say. But it does tend a little warm, but it's not so warm that it's going to look odd on your face if you're if you're a true neutral and need a true neutral foundation. It is very pretty. It has nice skin, dewy skin, not dewy, but it has a bit of a glow to it, and it's just gorgeous. It's gorgeous. I highly recommend it, and it is worth looking for your foundation shade with it. So, and then, like I said, for me, I think I just overshot the mark when I got this one, and it's too light, because it was between this and the other one that I'm going to buy, and I just decided to go lighter because in the winter I tend to go fairly light. This just ended up being a little bit too light. Nice mixer though, and I really, like I said, I do highly recommend it. The next one is the Woma by Sharon Flawless in Real Life Skin Perfecting Foundation. This is a bit thicker than the original foundation they have, the Woma, the main brand. Woma by Sharon is by Woma, but it's like their drugstore brand. And this one does tend to be a bit thicker than that foundation. It's still a fairly decent foundation. This one is obviously a bit too warm for me right now because we are in winter. So it looks really warm. But still feels very light on the skin. Not as light as the Woma. I did feel it a bit, but it wasn't horrible, and the feeling did fade. Full end of medium coverage, but it shows some texture where their foundations don't, and pressing it in didn't help. When I have a liquid foundation, when I'm putting on my liquid foundation, I will take a dry brush. My texture shows up in between my brows here and along my nose and sometimes under my cheeks. So I will take a dry brush and I will just press that foundation in like that. It's not going to do much on this foundation because this foundation is not liquid. What I'm wearing right now is a powder. But I will do that pressing to press it in and reduce the amount of texture. So I did try that with this and it really didn't help. However, it didn't show more texture between my brows than the original, just on my upper cheeks and my nose. And my nose was a bit spotty. It does need a few to settle, and the texture did tone down a little bit with powder. It claims to be transfer proof, but not quite. It does have some transfer. You don't get a lot on a pat test though, so it's minimal. And it does seem to hold up to blowing your nose, a must-have if you have allergies like I do. Packaging is similar. It's just the Woma by Sharon has the pink lettering by Sharon in there. So the packaging is very, very similar to their other one. Mixed with my Vichy Mineral 89, it became very wet, applied heavier, though it didn't feel much that heavier, and became almost kind of like grainy. Not patchy, just, I can't even explain it. It's like maybe the Mineral 89 balled up inside of it or something. It was very strange. I had to buff it out quite a bit more to get close to the kind of finish I like. It looked a touch less patchy, especially on my nose. The amount of texture was reduced, but still somewhat presence. But the graininess was more apparent under my eyes. The coverage went down to mid-medium. It mixed with my e.l.f., which works just about with everything. And I, like I said, I'll have to mention that one down below. It's one that the e.l.f. foundation is also a really nice foundation with a really nice finish. I have reviewed it before. I don't know why I don't buy it. I do like it. But, in fact, I think I have it somewhere. But anyway, it did mix well with that. Became wetter but buffed out nicely, emphasized my texture just a tiny bit, and wasn't patchy. As usual, my nose and around my eyes had bigger issues, and it looked almost but not quite cakey in those areas, but I also felt it more on my face, and even powdered, it never really dried down. Later, it got a bit itchy. This is an okay foundation, but it's not for me. It's always just slightly off. Because of how it looked on my cheeks, I think a drier skin might like this. but I would be cautious if you have sensitive skin. So this is not a foundation that I'm going to repurchase. And in fact, I'm probably not even going to finish this one. Really, the issue for me is that with my sensitive skin and it was making me itchy, no. You know what? I just might give it to my daughter. She might be able to finish it up. It's just been sitting here. I haven't been using it because I don't like itchy skin. I don't know about you. And of course, you know, when you have allergies like that, they can get worse if you keep using or putting yourself in contact, I mean, your skin in contact with whatever that you're allergic to. So for me, it's an okay foundation. It's not a fantastic foundation. It's not as good as their first foundation that they put out with the overall, under the umbrella of the overall brand. It is cheaper. I don't remember what the price is. That will be listed down below. But I don't think the trade-off is good enough for me to want to repurchase it. And I have the Pretty Natural, so I'm pretty happy with that. So I have three Womas in here. Womas. I know I'm butchering the word. I apologize. One is a stand-in for a different product. But this one is the Woma by Sharon. It's Complicated Lip Tint Oil Gloss. It says a little bit of this, a little bit of that. The packaging is fairly decent. Again, this is their drugstore brand, so the packaging is nice. I really like this. It's very lightweight and doesn't feel oily at all. It has decent color. It's great over mattes that feel stiff and drying. As they dry down, it makes them a lot more comfortable without lifting, moving, or shifting, or otherwise removing the color. However, as it would be with anything that a matte like that you put a gloss over, putting this color on here, that you put a gloss over, they won't dry down completely. As you can see, it's more than a tint. It's a beautiful color, but it's not full-on opaque. So it's really nice. They don't dry down as much. They don't dry down completely, you know, because you've put this gloss over them, but they do dry down enough so transfer can be attributed mostly to the gloss, but without that uncomfortable stiffness. On the downside, I did get some flaking later, but still, I already want more. I know a lot of people have issues with, you know, lip color flaking, any kind of lip color flaking. The only time that this flaked for me was when I put it over mattes. And here I just wiped that all off and you can see there's still some there. This color is really nice. It's still there. This gloss is really nice. I really enjoy it. Like I said, particularly over matte. I'm not a matte fan and I'm always looking for something that I can wear over a matte that isn't going to ruin the matte, that is going to actually work with the matte. And this is one that really works with the mattes and makes them easier to wear without doing too much to the matte itself. And you can use it as a color adjuster, I'm sure. I don't know if they have a clear one, but I definitely want more of these in different colors. This is really nice. All right, so our last Woma, I'm going to use the Drama Bomb as the replacement. Like the rest of the Woma by Sharon, it has the same kind of logo where it says Woma by Sharon. I do believe the packaging is more solid. This has that patchwork on it, and it will have the pink by Sharon across it and all that. But I'm just gonna hold this up just so you remember. It's a mascara. This is a sample mascara. The mascara that I was using before was a full size, because again, this is their, like I said a couple times now, this is their drugstore brand. So they are a bit more affordable. This one in the larger size is like 20 bucks. You can get these small minis on their site for like 11 or 12, something like that. But the larger size is about $20. I think their mascara for drugstore is somewhere between 10 and 12, but I'd have to double check that. Again, it's just a lower priced product. This formula is a bit drier than the original mascara, this one. And initially seems like it's not doing much. Some of that is because of the separation it starts off with. Build it up 2 or 3 coats and the lash definitely look longer and thicker. It does clump though, and dries pretty quickly. So if you brush out your lashes to smooth them out and to get rid of any clumpiness, you'll have to work fast. It's definitely waterproof. My makeup was running, but no mascara tracks. It works beautifully with the essence Volume Booster Lash Primer. That's the primer that I always use. A lot of people don't like this. I really like it because it gives my lashes separation. It doesn't seem to do much for length or volume, but it gives my lashes really nice separation. And the Batter Boom did seem to work really well with that. It's also a great topper over the Essence Princess Lash False Lash Effect. But because it's thicker and drier when you first get it, it thickens up and becomes harder to work with pretty quickly. This is not a favorite, and even though I am trying to bring some of my prices down, I will continue to buy samples of these because I like this particular mascara. I actually really like the Essence Princess False Lash one really well too. But this one just doesn't seem worth the effort, especially since it dries out so fast. You're already looking at getting rid of your mascara, you know, every 3 months, 3 to 5 months. I usually go to 5, sometimes 6. I don't often go to 6. It has to be a pricey mascara that I actually paid for me to go to 6. If I got it in a box, I won't go to 6. But with the Batter Boom, I guess you could feel a little less bad about tossing it out at 3 to 4 months, but I don't know if you'll get there because it dries out really, really fast. And the Essence is cheaper and much better in my opinion, and doesn't dry out as quickly and has a beautiful effect on its own. It seems to work well with other mascaras. So the Batter Boom is kind of a fail for me. It's not horrible, it's just not one I would purchase. Not one I would recommend, my friends. Not one I would recommend. All right, so last we have the Essence, and talking about Essence, this is the Essence, the Glowin Gold's Vitamin E Baked Luminous Bronzer. I am actually wearing that today. I love this. This is, it doesn't apply nearly as dark as it looks like it would. It's pigment, but it allows you to build up. It blends nicely. It's a beautiful color. It is very warm. However, you'll notice it is not really all that shiny for a baked product. And I can build that up as much as I want to. So this is beautiful. And when I first got it, I used it like pretty much every single month after I first got it, because it is such a gorgeous, gorgeous bronzer. So I do recommend this. Another one of their products, you know, Essence. People are sleeping on Essence like they did for Nomad, and I think another brand that I said that people are sleeping on way too much. They're decent brands, beautiful brands. They have beautiful products, and you don't hear much about them, and Essence is one of them. Essence is their prices are really low. Their mascaras are what, $4, maybe $5? I can't remember how much this is, but again, it'll be listed down below. Just the foundation is like most it's 6, maybe 7. I don't think it's that high though. And that's not even that high when you consider we go out and buy $39 foundations every now and then, right? So, so far, most everything I've tried from Essence on a consistent basis has been very successful for me, and has been a pass rather than a fail. So another one that I highly recommend. I think this is the only color they have, but like I said, so unless if you're really, really light skinned, this may not work for you. But again, like I said, it doesn't go on very dark, and you can build it up, and I'm sure you can actually apply it even lighter than I do. But it's beautiful. So I do recommend this, unless you're white. I mean, really, I'm not talking white as the race. I'm talking as in your skin is really super pale. You've been out in the, I don't know, you've been sitting in the dark for days and not gotten any sun for years or something. If you're really white, this probably wouldn't work for you. But I think a lot of mid-tones, it's not gonna work for you if you're really dark either. But it's, like I said, it's beautiful for, you know, mid-tone light skin to just a little bit darker than I am probably. It's Beautiful, beautiful. Love it. And I do love the fact that there is none of, it's baked, but you don't, and it says glowing, but you don't get that, you don't get the glow. It doesn't, it's not shiny or anything. So it's really, really nice. Anyway, I'm going to move on because, Lord, I'm just not able to speak, I guess, today. And if you're wondering about my voice, I've been sick. Trying to get this done and I've been sick. At any rate, that is it for the day. And I would love to know if you've tried any of these. I would love to know what your opinion on them is, if any. And just let me know down below what you think. I would love to hear it. And so that is it for the day. And I hope you like what you've seen. And if you do like what you've seen and you're not yet subscribed, I don't know why not. Makeup, food, kid with geeky things. What are you doing? What are you doing? If you choose to subscribe, please hit that notification bell so you know when I upload. I currently upload 2 days a week, Monday and Thursday. However, we do have bonus videos like the aforementioned geeky box for my son. If you send anything, that would also be open as a bonus video unless you don't want me to. If you don't want me to, my hair is just like driving me nuts. As I mentioned in the opening, I just cut it. And now it's being crazy. Oh, Lord. Being crazy. Stop it. Get out of my face. Wait a minute. It's moving along. If you don't want me to open your box on the camera, on the channel, just leave a note in your box. Or you can join the domytriesthis Facebook group. I'm sorry. Which is listed down below. Thank God I have most of this figured out because just not talking well. And let me know on there that you have a package on the way and you don't want it opened on the channel, and I will honor your request. If you're part of my notification squad, please check both your bell and your subscription to make sure they're both still active. And if you choose not to subscribe, well, I don't blame you. I've been losing it. I'm sorry. I don't know what's going on today. I don't. And I'm still feeling that hair. But you're always welcome back again. And when you do come back again, don't forget to bring your cup of tea. All right. So this has been sitting here probably about 30 minutes, give or take. 25 minutes, 30 minutes, something like that. Let's give her a sip and get out of here before it gets any worse. Oh, goodness. All right. No, the scent is still really light. It could be because I'm still congested from being sick. I've had a sinus infection for like a week now. And it's finally going away. Let's hope it stays going away. But it could be affecting the fact whether or not I can smell anything. Ah, there it is. Okay, so that initial flavor, I said it was sweet and there was something else in there. It was kind of like vanilla. That vanilla-ness has changed a little bit, and but it's still really good. That's a nice tea. That is a really nice tea. I am not sure I would repurchase it. It is really nice. However, there's nothing that makes it stand out for me much. But if I were to get a 3 chamomile tea, this would probably be the one. It's really nice. My Kroger is starting to carry some Pukkas and has been carrying a few Pukkas. It would be nice if my Kroger would carry more of them because I've discovered quite a few that I actually really like. As I was saying, that's it for the day. Hope you have a good one. Bye.